Hi everybody, I'm gonna be making some cheesy sausage stuffed jumbo shells. Now this is comfort food at its best. It's a very easy meal to put together, and today I'm gonna show you how to make it step by step. Let's get started. I'm gonna start out by making my filling for my jumbo shells. I'm gonna be using this medium-sized skillet, and I've got my heat set on medium-high. So I'm gonna add my 1 pound of Italian sausage. Now this is mild, but you can also use the hot one if you like. I'm just gonna be moving it around like this until it loses its pink color. You can see my sausage has lost all its pink color, and I have removed all the grease. Plenty of grease in there. You don't want all that grease in there. Now there's a little bit left, but I'm gonna need it because I'm gonna put in my onions. See, here are my diced onions. And you want to be generous with your onions because these onions will give the whole filling a delicious flavor. Now I have 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1 teaspoon of onion powder. And I'm going to put them in here. See? Now I like to use garlic powder and onion powder because it just takes everything up one more notch. It's a little more concentrated, so you want very good flavor in your filling. I'm going to add some pepper and a little bit of salt. You don't want to go crazy with your salt because I've got other ingredients that I'm going to be putting in here. See? So I'm just going to let the onions get slightly translucent, just like this. So my onions are slightly translucent and it smells wonderful in here. I'm going to turn off the heat, and now we can add our other ingredients. So here is my sausage and onions. I'm going to put them into this bowl. See? So now that I've added my sausage in here, I'm going to add 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. Now this is freshly grated mozzarella cheese. You don't want to use the one in the package because they add a lot of ingredients in there to keep it from getting clumpy, and then it doesn't melt beautifully the way we want it to do. See? I've got 1 cup of Colby Jack cheese. Now this is just my own thing that I like to add because it just gives it a delicious flavor. So I'm going to put my Colby Jack cheese in here. See? And then I've got 1 cup of freshly grated parmigiano reggiano in here. Now you don't want to use the one in the package. You just get you one of these little blocks of cheese, grate it, and it's going to take this dish up a whole notch. I've got 4 ounces of cream cheese right here, and it's at room temperature. So I'm going to put it into my bowl. And then I've got 10 ounces of frozen spinach. You don't want any water in here, okay? I thawed it out first, and then I squeezed out all the water. So you want to put that in there. I'm going to add some pepper. Just love pepper in here. And I've got 15 ounces of ricotta cheese. And that's exactly what I had left over. See? Now it seems like a lot, but remember we've got 20-some shells that we're going to be using. And I've got some salt. I'm going to bring it all in together. Just like this. I almost forgot one ingredient, and that's my egg. I've got 1 large egg in here. Now this egg is what's going to bring it in together. It's kind of like a glue. You know, you want to put it in. Oh, look at this. Yummy, delicious. So I've got everything very well blended. See? I'm going to set it aside, clean up my area, and start with the next step. Now, as you can see, I've got a big pot of water and it's boiling. I have 2 to 3 quarts of water right here, and I'm going to add some salt before I put in my pasta shells. Now, you want to salt the water pretty good, see? And that's good. Now I have my shells right here. See my shells? These are the jumbo ones. I'm going to add them all into my pot. And I'm gonna time them for just 9 minutes. You don't wanna overcook your pasta shells, because if you cook them to where they're really soft, then when you put them into your casserole dish into the oven, they can fall apart. So you wanna leave them al dente, see? 9 minutes is always good for me. Now you wanna continue moving them around because you don't want them to stick, okay? Just like this. So while my pasta is boiling on the stove, I'm gonna put my sauce together. I've got 1 jar of marinara sauce. You can use any brand that you want. Now this is 23.5 ounces. And I'm gonna add 2 large garlic cloves, and they're finely minced. I'm gonna add it in here. See? You want every bit. I have 1 teaspoon of sugar. Now the reason you wanna add sugar in here is because you want to tone down that acidity of the marinara sauce. I'm gonna add some pepper. And I have 1.5 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. I'm gonna add it in there. I'm gonna mix it in together really good like this. See? So now that I have brought it in together really well like this, you see? I'm gonna go back to my pasta and I'm gonna let it sit there so everything can come in together real nice. So it's been 9 minutes. As you can see, my shells have been boiling at a rolling boil. I'm gonna turn off the heat and I'm gonna take them to the sink and drain them. So I've got a colander right here in my sink. I'm gonna drain them in here. See? And I'm gonna run some cold water over them to remove the starch and also to stop the cooking process. I've got my pasta nice and rinsed, see? And it's ready to go. Now I'm ready to assemble. I'm gonna be using this 9 by 13 baking dish, see? I'm gonna spray it with some non-stick spray. See, just like this. Now I've got my marinara sauce right here. I'm gonna put a little bit in this dish. It doesn't take a lot. Now you can make your own, and there's nothing wrong with that. Once we doctor this marinara sauce from the jar, it's delicious, see? So I've got some of that in the bottom. Now I'm gonna fill my shells. Now you can get a piping bag and you can fill your bag with the filling, or you can use a gallon-sized Ziploc bag. Then you can snip the corner and you can use it like a piper. But it's gonna be a big bag, and I think it's super quick when you do it with a spoon. And I wanna fill it generously. See? Just like that. And I'm gonna put it right here on the center of my baking dish. Then I'm gonna fill another one. And I'm gonna set it about like that. So now I'm gonna add my marinara sauce. See, look at this. Now I've got a piece of aluminum foil. I'm gonna cover it up really well. And I've got my oven set at 350 degrees. I'm gonna put them in the center for 45 minutes without opening them up. At 45 minutes, I'm gonna remove the aluminum foil and I'm gonna add the last ingredient. So I'll see you then. So it's been exactly 45 minutes. Now we can remove the aluminum foil. Oh, look at this. See how it's still bubbling on the edges? Now I'm gonna add my last ingredient, and that's 1 cup of mozzarella cheese. So that's the end of it. So I'm gonna put it back into the oven without the aluminum foil, anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes, just so that the mozzarella cheese can melt real nice and get a little golden. So I'll see you in a little bit. Ooh, so here it is. Look at this. It's still bubbling because it's piping hot. So I've got some fresh basil, as you can see, and I've also got some parsley. So I'm gonna chop them up. So now I'm gonna top it with my basil and my parsley. This is gonna give it a delicious added flavor. See, look at that. Now I'm ready to cut into it. We're gonna have this with a cold salad and with some breadsticks. See? Mmm. Mmm. Oh, look at the. Oh. So now it's time for the taste test. Mmm. 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 And I've got some red pepper flakes. You can put some on top if you'd like. We love it with the pepper flakes. Mmm. So these are my cheesy sausage stuffed jumbo shells. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up, send me a comment and tell me what you think. Thank you.